Uh-uh. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Mike Peterson coming to you live. It is Wealthy Wednesday. It is the first Wednesday of the year. Celebrate. You've made it through 2024, and God has blessed you with life and life more abundantly to be here in 2025. And listen, I am just honored and I'm just grateful to be able to come before you on the first Wednesday. It's actually the first Wednesday, and it is the 1st of January, the first day, the first Wednesday of 2025. But you all know nothing has changed but the day and the year. So go ahead, put in the chat, where are you calling from? Where are you logging in from? Let me know. Are you in Ohio, Tennessee, Florida, California, Delaware? Where are you logging in from? Let me know. It has been amazing to watch the gospel spread to around the country. And so just do me a favor and put in the chat where you're calling from. And if this is your first time logging in, I want to encourage you to go back into our Facebook page and check out some of the prior messages. We just literally finished a study on the kingdom keys. I believe it will bless your life. Go back and listen. There's about 13, maybe 14 weeks of dealing with kingdom keys. Jesus said that he would give us the keys to the kingdom. And whatsoever we loose on earth, he'd loose in heaven. Whatever we bind in the earth, he'd bind it in heaven. So how do you work the keys of the kingdom? Go check that out. It'll be a blessing to your life. What I want to do is, I'm not going to be long tonight. I want to just give you 4 quick steps to launch 2025 in a big way. I want to give you 4 steps to help you launch 2025 in a big way. Say 2025 is big. Just type it in the chat. 2025 is big, right? So I want to give you 4 steps to help you launch 2024 in a big way. And so I want to start with a verse of scripture from the book of Luke, chapter 2. And we're going to read from verse 52. And it says this: "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." I'll read that again. It says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." And so I want to read this to you in the Passion Translation. It says, "And Jesus grew. So did his wisdom and maturity. The favor of men increased upon his life, for he was loved greatly by God." So I want to talk about 4 areas of really focusing in 2025 to launch it in a big way. And now, we've all heard that you got to have goals. The difference in great achievers and great builders are those that have goals. In fact, there is a book called The Greatest Secret by the author is James Allen. The book is probably 35, 40 pages long, but it is one of the most read books when it comes to personal development. But the book, the real great secret that separates achievers from non-achievers is goals. They do studies, and they've done studies, and they've kind of followed people who have been major goal setters, and they've looked at their achievements in comparison to those who did not have goals, and the level of accomplishment, the level of productivity, the level of success between those that have goals and those that don't it's hugely different. There is an actual large gaping chasm between those that have goals and those that don't. So we want to talk about 4 steps to help you launch 2025 in a big way. And so just type into the chat, let's launch. Let's launch. So we don't want you to roll out 2025. We want you to launch 2025. Launch means it takes off, right? It takes off. A lot of business strategists say that you really have to start like 2025 should have started in October of 2024. So you have October, November, December. Everything for 2025 should have been already in motion at the end of 2024, because if you start 2025 ramping up in January, it may take you till March, April before you begin to hit the stride. So we don't want to roll out 2025. We want to launch 2025. Watch this. Think about companies like Apple. Apple, they launched the iPhone. They launched the iPad. In other words, they didn't put their toe in the water and then slowly enter into the market. No, they launched. And so launch looks like domination. Launch looks like blasting open the door to the market. So we want you to launch 2025. We don't want you to just roll out. No. We want you to launch. We want you to start big. We want you to launch big in 2025. Put that in the chat. Launch big in 2025. Launch big in 2025. And so I want to give you 4 areas of goal setting. And so first of all, we want you to put this in your notes. Best goals. We want you to label and establish in 2025, today, tonight, before you go to bed tonight. I want you to write down your best goals. And BEST is simply an acronym. The B stands for believable. Believable. The goals should be believable. Because if you don't believe it, if you don't believe you can achieve it, you won't even attempt to do it. So the goals, number 1 in your best goals, the B stands for believable. They must be believable. Second is the E. They must be energizing. Energizing. When you think about accomplishing them, when you look at what they are, they should energize you. You should get excited to go after the goal, right? Number 3 is the S. They should be specific. And then the T is they should be time bound. They should have a time frame on them. For example, you have short-term goals. You have long-term goals. Your short-term should be anything within the next 6 to 12 months. That's short-term. But I even narrow it down to say immediate. What do I want to do immediately? What do I want to see and accomplish immediately? And so that's my short term. What do I want over the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months? Those are your kind of intermediate. And then what do you want over the next 5 years? What do you want your life to be? What do you want to accomplish? And so those are your best goals. So type into the chat, believable, right? Believable, energizing, specific, and time bound. Best, or you can just put in there best goals. Best goals. But get those in your notes, because tonight, when you get off this call or whenever you listen to this, I want you to go and write down your best goals for 2025. And so the areas that I want you to write your best goals in is really coming from Luke 2 in chapter 2 and verse 52, where it says, and Jesus increased in wisdom, in stature, in favor with God and man. Jesus increased, right, in stature, in wisdom, in favor with God, in favor with man. So there are 4 areas that I want you to jot down your best goals, your goals that are believable, energizing, right? And specific and time bound. I want you to write down your best goals in the areas of stature, which deals with your physical health, your your wisdom, which deals with how God does things. Your favor with God, which is your intimacy and your relationship with God. And then lastly, your favor with man, which deals with relationships. So let's kind of hit this briefly. I'm not going to be long, but I want you to grab hold of this, right? And so first thing I want to deal with is favor with men. This year, I want you to write down your best goals when it comes to favor with man. Here's what favor with men looks like. This area deals with and represents your impact and your relationship with others. I'll tell you that again. Favor with men deals with and represents your impact and your relationship with others. Okay? Listen, relationships are everything. Relationships are so vitally important because you cannot achieve much in life by yourself. The Bible says one can put 1,000 to flight. You would think that two could put 2,000 to flight. But the Bible says that one can put 1,000 to flight, but two can put 10,000 to flight. So just by adding someone alongside yourself, it gives you a multiplicity of power. The power that you are able to generate with the difference between one person and two people is exponential. One can put 1,000 to flight, but two can put 10,000 to flight. So you get literally 8,000 times more power with just having one person. So relationships in 2025 are critically important. You can't do it alone. Type that in the chat. I can't do it alone. See, the enemy wants us to believe that we can do it alone, that we can be a solopreneur. No. You can't be a solopreneur. It's like being an entrepreneur by yourself. You need relationships. You need people. That is why God said in the garden, it is not good, what? For man to be alone. See, therefore I will create what? A help meet for him. He needed help. He could not accomplish the goals of God, the instructions of God, the call of God on his own. He needed someone to help him. So this year, I want you to look at the best goals around favor with men. And so this deals with the impact and the relationship with others. And so I'm going to give you just a suggestion. So for example, whatever it is that you desire to do, why don't you find kind of a local networking group, a group of people that are already kind of doing those things that you can join and kind of glean from the wisdom of that group, so that you can pull from the instructions of the people that are involved in that group, right? And so challenge yourself this year to maybe once a week, get with someone who is kind of a leader in the communities, a thought leader, someone who's on an upward trajectory in their business and in their life, and try to have lunch once a week with them. Try to get together, if it's not once a week, once a month. Get outside of your comfort zone, make relationships, make that a goal. And then, find someone who can pour into you in the areas of your interest. If you say this year you want to do more in your ministry, you want to do more in your business, find someone who's already successful in life, and then get yourself in the room with them. Get yourself at the table with them. Ask them to be a mentor to your life. Ask them to pour into you in the area of your interest. In other words, gain favor with man. Gain favor with men, right? That's number one. Number two is it says that Jesus grew in favor with men and favor with God. So the next pillar or the next step that you want to focus on in your best goals is that you want to get into favor with God. Now, this area represents your spiritual growth. You want to grow in your favor with God. Now, I say favor. This is what favor is. Favor is a public endorsement for your private dedication. What am I saying? When God begins to endorse you publicly, when he shows up on your behalf, when things look like they're going to fail, when you look like you're going under, but all of a sudden situations change and men have a heart that is turned towards you to do you good. That's an endorsement. That's God's favor. That's his endorsement being placed upon you publicly because of how you've spent time and you've obeyed him privately. So favor is the public endorsement for your private dedication. So you want to grow in favor with man, and you want to grow in favor with God. So you want the favor of God to be noticed in public because of how you're spending time with God in private. So in 2025, right, we want to set best goals when it comes to spending time with God. You want to set goals that are believable, that are energizing, that are specific, and that are time bound. What is it that you want your relationship to look like with God? What do you want that to be? What do you want to accomplish in 2025 when it comes to your spiritual growth in God, right? So, for example, I spoke with my mom today, and every year she reads the Bible from cover to cover. She reads it from cover to cover. So here it is, January 1st, and I talked with her today, and I said, what are you doing? She said, well, I started reading my plan, and after I got done reading, I started listening to some music. She said, I started over my plan to read the Bible in a year. Well, that is that private dedication that allows for public endorsement. Are y'all hearing what I'm telling you? And so what will you do this year? What kind of goals will you establish that challenge you to grow in your relationship with God, that you would be able to manifest favor with God, right? Favor with God. Study, right? You may read the Bible in a year, but every day you may commit to the messages that are shared on Sunday by a pastor. You may commit that this year, every day, I'm going to study the message over and over from Sunday to the next Sunday, so that I got it. It's in my spirit. I can teach it to someone else. I can share it with someone else. I can help someone else have increase in their life because I've mastered what was taught to me on Sunday to Sunday to Sunday. Okay, that could be a goal of yours, that this year I'm not going to leave my Bible on the back seat of my car from Sunday to Sunday. But this year, I'm going to wear out some of the pages of my Bible. I'm going to mark my Bible up so much that I'm going to get highlighters and I'm going to work through that. But come on, whatever it is that your best goal is and best goals are, write them down. It's between you and God. Are y'all hearing me? And so write down best goals for growing in God this year. And then the next thing we want to talk about is your stature, your physical, right? Your physical border, taking care of your body, maintaining a healthy weight. Look at that. Many of us, we're blaming the enemy for things that are taking place in our lives when really we are self-sabotaging because we haven't made goals when it comes to our stature, when it comes to our physical well-being, right? When it comes to taking care of self, loving self enough to take care of the only body we will ever have, right? And if we take care of it it will take care of us. And so, listen, one of the greatest tools of health is sleep. Is sleep. One of the greatest tools of health is sleep. And many of us don't get enough sleep. Sleep is made to heal and restore the body. Sleep has such an impact on the well-being of the body that many of us don't sleep enough. So in 2024, get rest, right? That's why God commanded man to rest on the seventh day. How many of you take a Selah, a Sabbath? I'm not trying to make it legalistic, but God knew that man would work himself to death. So he mandated and commanded that the seventh day be holy and that man was to rest on the seventh day. Why? Because your body needs rest. How many of you take a day where you just veg out? You take Saturday, for example, and just do nothing. You just rest. You allow yourself to do nothing. Don't run around. Don't go work in the yard. No. Just do nothing. Just rest. Just allow yourself this year to rest, because that improves your stature. That helps to take care of the body, right? And then figure out what you need to do to eat better. What do you need to do? What do you need to remove from your diet that is causing you, to be sick, to not be as healthy as you could be, right? So for me, I don't drink a lot of soda. I don't. But even though I don't drink a lot of soda, I don't drink as much water as I need to drink. I like those ice drinks, right? And I don't even drink a ton of those, but when I do drink, that's what I drink. If my wife and I go out to dinner, I'll drink all water. I may drink 3, 4, 5 glasses of water. And it's so good when I do it. But when I'm not at a restaurant, I don't drink a lot of water. Well, this year, my goal is to drink like 64 ounces a day. That's just 8 glasses. So over the course of a day, to drink 8 glasses of water is not a lot. I just have to set it as a goal, and I have to be intentional about doing it, because water is so good for the body, right? They say that we're like, 75% water. And so you need water to keep everything moving and functioning properly in your body. And so for me, one of the goals of my stature is to eliminate completely, a lot of carbonated drinks, but to drink 64 ounces of water a day, right? To bring more health, to get 30 minutes of exercise a day. I'm not trying to compete for the Arnold. I'm not trying to get buffed and ripped and all. I just need 30 minutes a day to give me the energy to do everything else that I want to do this year. And how many of you understand that health is wealth? Health is wealth. Type that in the chat. Health is wealth. Many of us are looking for financial wealth, but health is a part of wealth. Because if you're not healthy, you don't have the energy to really build and sustain the wealth. And so I have ideas in my mind. I have desires in my heart. But if I don't have the energy to get up, to do what's necessary to be done, it just remains a dream. It just remains a burning desire in my heart. But if I don't have the energy and the health to be able to go after it, it's just a pipe dream. All right. And so we got to work on that physical border, that stature. And lastly, wisdom. And again, that's responding to life the way God recommends it, the way God sees it. And so when you talk about wisdom, the greatest area for wisdom is the Bible. From Genesis to Revelation is wisdom. But more specifically, the wisest man to ever live is noted in the Bible. His name is Solomon. And so God said to him, because you've asked for wisdom, He says, there will be none who comes after you who shall be wiser. And so Solomon was the wisest man to live. And the book of Proverbs is a book to give wisdom and understanding to the simple, right? To those who aren't schooled and those who aren't degreed, it doesn't matter. Solomon and the Proverbs that were written by him are designed to give you wisdom, to help you understand how to apply the truth of God, how to apply God's truth to your life. And so, what are your best goals when it comes to the area of wisdom in your life? What will you do every day to increase in wisdom? To increase in wisdom, what will you do? What does that look like for you? What are the areas that you want to become more proficient in when it comes to understanding wisdom? When it comes to understanding how to function the way God recommends it, in the area of your relationships, in the area of your business, in the area of your finances, in the area of your employment. How can I function more wisely, more in tune and in line with how God recommends it when it comes to those areas of life? How can I function in more wisdom this year? See, these are the 4 things that if we just create best goals for those 4 areas, you launch in 2025. You don't roll out 2025. You hit 2025 running and running hard and running fast. See, because again, those goals, they are believable, they're energizing, they're specific, and they're time focused, time bound. Are you with me? And because they are believable and energizing, it gets you motivated, that you don't want to just creep into doing it. You want to hit it with a vengeance, because you understand that once you begin to achieve those things, your life will never be the same. And so I pray that this has been a blessing for you. That's all I got. I told you it was going to be short and sweet. I want you to just, again, launch your best goals. Write them down. Write them down. Don't let another day go into 2025 and you don't know and you don't understand and have your best goals written out. All right? Listen, if you want more great content, go over to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to it. The YouTube channel is P3 Life, life with a Y, L-Y-F-E, P3 Life. Go over there and subscribe. One of the goals I have is to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can begin to do greater things on YouTube this year. And it will happen. It will happen. I already know it will, because I have some things that I want to do to make it happen, right? I was talking with someone today, and I've been sharing this. This is kind of a reality that came to me. We talk about seasons. Like, oh man, this is going to be the season. If we're in a bad time, we say, oh man, I can't wait for this season to be over. I'm like, no. We have to stop waiting on seasons. We have to learn to control our seasons. And what do I mean by that? See, a farmer understands that there is a certain time of harvest. So before harvest, he understands that he has to prepare his field. He has to put seed in the field. And then he has to put the seed in the field before rain begins to come, so that the seed can get water and it can begin to produce, so that there is harvest time, right? Watch this. The seasons are going to come, but if he's done everything he was supposed to do, the season doesn't control him. He controls the season. See, when will we get to a winter that we're able to travel away and stay 3 months during the winter months? We don't even have to endure snow if we don't want to, because we've done so much preparation in spring and summer that we have enough resource during winter to go to a warm climate and stay there, and don't worry about finances, don't worry about business, because we've done so much preparation in the other seasons. In other words, we control those seasons so that we control the winter season. Are y'all hearing what I'm telling you? The Bible says that the ant understands that winter is coming. So he's doing everything during the springtime to prepare because winter's coming. Don't let seasons control you. You learn to control the seasons. Stop waiting for the change of seasons and be grateful because you are controlling the season. You're excited for the next season because you've done everything in the seasons prior to prepare for every season. All right, that's a little nugget for you. Listen, have an amazing day. Have an amazing new year. And Lord willing, we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel. Be blessed by the best. Have an amazing night.